I got involved with a Nigerian guy. He was very wealthy. I got involved with him because I wanted money. I had spent many years in South Africa, and because of other reasons, I was ashamed to return back to my country empty-handed. Now, after I have slept with this wealthy Nigerian guy, I see that there are maggots that are coming out of my private parts. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Please post my story as hidden identity. I am a 39-year-old woman who is living here in KwaZulu-Natal. I've been in South Africa for about 10 years now. We were the type of people who used to tell ourselves that we would never go back home and we would rather die here in South Africa. My story, Brother Nanshi, goes on like this. I came back to South Africa. It was in the year 2015 after being divorced by my husband, who left me with absolutely nowhere to start. After my husband had left me, I did not know what else to do. Because when I got married to my husband, he had made it clear to me that he did not want me to work. He just wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was happy about that arrangement that I had with my husband, because I felt as if a man is able to take care of his family, then a wife is supposed to sit at home. I did not know about the disadvantages of being a woman who cannot work for her own children. Once your husband starts to cheat on you, once he dumps you, then you will realize that you were nothing. I was unable to support my own family because of that desperate situation that I was facing. I did not have a choice but to come to South Africa. And my husband, this is what he used to say after we had broken apart. He said that I'm not going to take care of you and the kids because you will be using my money, spending it on your next boyfriend. If you want my money, then you need to stay single, and when I have the opportunity, I will come and I sleep with you to see if you are not dating any other man. Then after that, I will give you money. So this just meant that he wanted me to be like his prostitute, something that I did not want to happen. And he said that he did not want to support me because I had only given him girls. If I had a son with him, it was going to be different. Eventually, I told myself that I would not look for any other man, but I was just going to focus on my own life. Because of the desperate situation that I was facing, I spoke to my sister who was already here in South Africa. After we had spoken, me and my sister, she then sent me a bus fare. I came to Johannesburg, and I knew that the money that my sister had given to me, this was her last money, as she had told me that I was not supposed to use that money when I was still back in Zim. I was supposed to keep it until the bus would have come to pick me up. Then I came to Johannesburg. My sister then found a domestic worker job for me. I started working at a Zimbabwean family's house. I was not earning a lot of money, but I was finally able to support my children. I worked there from 2015 until March this year. In 2026, my employers, then they told me that they were returning back to Zim because they were also from Zim. Even though they were running a business, it was not that big. They were just employing 21 people, and we were a couple of Zimbabweans that were working in the office as well as the cleaning staff. The rest, they were local people. So they said that they are afraid due to the current situation, and they have decided to return back home. When they told me this, they just told me after I had finished eating my salary for that month with no extra savings. You know, when you are working as a maid as well as the office cleaning staff, you do not have extra savings on you at any given time. I had recently sent a lot of money back to Zim, and I was unable to borrow money from them because they said that they can't take any more money out of the business because they want to set up another business in Zim. So they could not give us anything. They just said that they were going to close the company, and that is the end of the story. So without any extra savings, I then started to think about returning back to my country, and I wondered, if I return back to Zim today, where am I even going to start? So I spoke to my friend who gave me accommodation. This friend of mine, she was always doing sex work. She goes to lodges, she sleeps with men, wealthy men, poor men, any guy that has money to give to him, sleep with them, and then they pay him. And that has been her only source of livelihood here in South Africa. And she has already built her own house back in Zim with the money that she is getting from these men that she sleeps with, that she met online, on Facebook, on TikTok, wherever. And when she told me that the money that she got to build her house, it came from all of this, I then started to think about it, and I said that if this is what has given her money, I also want to have so much money by sleeping with these guys so that I can quickly make money and I can return back to my country. I thought about it and I decided to commit myself to doing it just for a short time. When I agreed to go and do it, I said it is only going to be for a short time to get enough money so that when I return back home, I can start a poultry business. Already I had spoken with one of my cousin sister back home in Zim. When I spoke with her, I asked him, how much money am I going to need to start raising chickens and I can sell the chickens? So my sister gave me a quotation, and the quotation, it is something around 80,000 rands. So then I made my own calculations and I said, if I can sleep with at least 10 to 15 guys each and every day, I can be able to raise that money. So that is how I started to do sex work. We would go to different clubs and we would meet guys. Some of them, they would pay you 500 per round. So if you are sleeping with 10 guys on a nightly basis, you are making about 5K. You just remove 1,000 for the food. The rest, I was just saving it. It then happened that I met up with this other Nigerian guy. When I met up with this guy on Facebook, I had joined a Durban hookup group for prostitutes that are based in the area where I am staying. One girl who is South African told me that this is where she gets her customers. So she encouraged me to join that group. After I had joined the group, I then started to see that there were guys that were looking for women to sleep with. I was encouraged by my friend to pick up this other Nigerian man who had said that he was looking for a woman that was comfortable to do any sex style, even if it meant to sleep with two guys at the same time or to sleep with another woman in front of any other man. If there was such a woman who was flexible enough, then it meant that she was going to get paid a lot of money. I was speaking with my friend about it and I said, this guy is very weird for me. I don't think that I'll be able to be in a room where we are three and then we are all making love. It is really weird. But my friend encouraged me and she reminded me about what I had told her I wanted to do to raise money so that I returned back home. So eventually I responded to this Nigerian guy. He then gave me a location and said that we were supposed to meet on a certain date. I then went to that club where I saw that there were a lot of foreign guys that were hanging out. They were just enjoying their alcohol. So upon my arrival, he said that he liked me and I could tell that he was such a wealthy guy, even though he was Nigerian. We started talking whilst we were drinking our beers. I told him that I only drink ciders whilst he was drinking expensive wine. And I did not sleep with any other men on that day when he had told me that he wanted to sleep with me, but he said that he does not want me to sleep with any other man before I would have slept with him. He wanted me to be clean at all the times. So I bathed in the morning, even though there were guys that were asking to go out with me, to sleep with me at different guest houses, but I was refusing, lying to some of my own customers, telling them that I was too busy to be able to go and sleep with them. I was waiting for this Nigerian guy so that if I sleep with him, he will find me to be clean. I want to confess that I wanted to impress him so much because of the money that he had promised that he was going to give to me. 2 days earlier on, after my friend had encouraged me to go on a date with this guy, I had even taken some ice blocks and then I had put them in my private part so that I can be extra tight. I did not want him to find me a little bit loose, since I have been sleeping with 10-15 guys on a daily basis. I even feel myself that I am a bit loose down there, but when I use ice blocks to tighten myself, it becomes really tight. Since I had not slept with any other guy, I was confident that I was going to impress him, and since he had promised me that he was going to give me a lot of money, I had even told myself that I was now going to be dealing only with this wealthy Nigerian man. He told me that he liked me and he wanted us to keep on dating. This was even before we had slept with each other. This was in March of 2026 this year. He started to give me money after I had complained to him about my problems that I was facing here in South Africa, all the challenges that were waiting for me if it happened that I would just go back home without any proper preparations. So I told him everything, and then he said to me, I'm going to give you money and I want you to give this money to your mother, which I sent back home to my mom, and I told my mom to keep the money safe because I was going to be returning back home very soon. So as it happened, by the night was that this month on June 5th, it was on the 5th of June, then my wealthy partner, he called me and he told me that he wanted us to have a meeting and he wanted us to meet in a very special place. I said, cool. After I had finished bathing and doing other lady stuff, that was when I called him and I said, which hotel do you want us to meet? He then said, okay, let me send you a location. Open your WhatsApp. I then opened the WhatsApp and then I was given the hotel location. Since I don't have a car, he said that take an Uber, and he gave me some money, withdrew the money so that I can pay for the Uber, because where I stay and the place where he had sent me the location, it was a long drive. I actually drove for nearly an hour to get to that place. So after I had taken the Uber and I went there, I found him. He was waiting for me. It was pretty amazing. When he came to pick me up, he was holding me. As you know, that Nigerian men, they are very romantic, if not the most romantic in the whole of Africa. And then he took me to the dining table. We started eating, we were drinking. I even forgot about my problems that I was facing, and he even said that he wanted to take me to Europe if things kept on getting bad in South Africa. All this while, me and my Nigerian boyfriend, we had been sleeping together using protection, but because of the love, the affection, the attention that he had given to me, I ended up opening my legs without him wearing any protection. I was ready in that moment to even fall pregnant for him, even though I had not told him. By the way that I was feeling him, it was too much. So I slept with my blesser without protection. I just risked my life because I desperately wanted the money. He then gave me 30,000 rands and he walked away. When I counted this money, I was like, halala, this is a lot of money. Let me go back home with this money. At least I can start afresh. 30,000, who is going to give me all of that money? Even my own bosses that I worked for, they could not even dare give me so much amount of money. I did not think that I had any problem. I took the money, I left, and I returned to my relative's place where I was going to stay until I would have returned back home. I kept this money without telling anyone, afraid that there was someone that was going to rob me of the money that I had worked hard for. I calculated the money I had already sent home plus what I now had in hand, and I saw that things were finally good enough for me to return back to my own country of birth. Then on June 10th, it was on 10th June this year, my nightmares, they have started. I started to have a lot of smelly discharge. At first, I thought that I had a terrible STI. When this discharge was coming out of my private part, I tried to wash. I even bought Dettol and it did not work. I even took aloe that I bought from a herbal shop and I was rubbing it on my private part until my skin on my private part became so much sensitive, so much that even if I try to touch it right now, it is so sensitive and very painful. So I then saw a maggot that was coming out of my private part when I went to pee. This maggot, it was mixed with blood. I initially thought that maybe I had fallen sick since me and my Nigerian blesser, we slept with each other without using any protection. So I tried calling him before going to the hospital. I had to go to a private since at the government hospital it is very difficult, but his phone was no longer reachable. I went to the clinic, but they told me that I don't have any kind of an illness. Because of this, I now view what is happening in my life as spiritual, because these maggots actually come out of moving around alive. They are the type of maggots, those ones that are found in the toilets. When you look in the sewage, those maggots, they are the ones that are coming out of my private part. They are tiny and they are very fat. They are always moving around. Right now, the life that I am living, Brother Nashi, it is incredibly hard. And I had known that this is what is going to happen to me, I was never going to sleep with this blesser who has given me this STI that no one can even know how to end this STI. They're saying that there is no medication. I wish that I could have just gone back home with my poverty. Maybe I would have found somewhere to start. So I have come here, brother. I am looking for help. Is there any helper you know? Please help me, whether here in Joburg or back home. All that I want, brother, is just help. I don't care where the help comes from. All that I want is to heal from this situation. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. I sent this message already translated to one of our South African admin who sent it to her friend who is a gyno. She works at a government hospital. She was saying that this might not be something that has to do with witchcraft, but it can be a parasitic infection that she is suffering from. She is supposed to go to any regional hospital in KZN, where she is saying that she might be, and see a gyno or an infectious disease specialist. That is the person that she is supposed to look for. Tell me what you think. Do you think that this is witchcraft or it is not witchcraft? Do you think that it is just an STI where you see these things coming out of your private part? If you have ever encountered such, you can come to my inbox and then you share with us your own side of the story. Do you agree with the doctor's opinion? Let us meet again in the following episode.